Hello, everyone. I'm Sisanda Njinga, and welcome to On the Couch. So, on the couch with me today is Renshia Manuel, who is the founder of Growbox. Her business provides easy and convenient veggie garden boxes for people who don't necessarily have sufficient space to grow their own vegetables. Renshia, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Very
It's
good.
it's so good to see you. It's so good. I always get excited when I see you because there's always like some new thing that's happening at Growbox. But before you tell me about like all the exciting stuff that's happening on your end, I for those that don't know, I know that Growbox started from a need for you to feed your family because you were unemployed and you needed to feed your children, and then it became a business. So I want you to tell me how you went from needing to feed your kids to starting this business, which is now feeding a whole lot of other people.
Yeah. Um, like you say, it started as a need. Unemployment happened, and the kids are hungry, and I knew that I was capable of working, but I just couldn't find work. So I started a veggie garden, and that was literally our supper. The kids would go to the garden, would harvest whatever they want to eat, and I cook it, and that would be our supper. And I always had this passion for gardening. And my first initial thought was that I wanted to start a nursery within Hanover Park. I wanted to start. But then I looked at the challenges that we have, especially within our areas. Many of the community members do not have access to land. They did not have open spaces to plant anything. So how can we bring food to households who had none? And that is where the concept of Growbox was born, giving people access to a land space or give them a box where they can grow their own vegetables. Yeah. So
What?
that was where Growbox was born.
Okay, but like, why was it? I hear you're now saying that you initially you just wanted to have a nursery within Hanover Park. Why was that important for you? Why did you want to have a nursery in Hanover Park?
Um, yeah, it's to because first of all, most nurseries are very far from our areas, especially on the Cape Flats, where food security is an issue, and I want to bring that closer within our communities, and also I wanted to create jobs and create a business for myself, so that kind of encompasses everything, a sustainable business, job creation, and also giving people access to a service that they never had.
I think I know that your business, how it started and all of that, but I think only once I watched the business grow and I watched you grow did I start realizing how much you actually love agriculture. Like you love being at the nursery and planting seedlings and getting your hands dirty. I had no idea until I started like just watching you grow with the business. Where did your love for like agriculture come from? Because like me, Shem, I yeah, no.
I think it was the fact that both my parents grew up in a farming community. My mother's from an area called Voetverwacht, which is on the N7 past Malmesbury, and that is a predominantly farming area. My father's from Robertson. And during the school holidays, they would literally send us to our family members, and that's where we grew up. We'd be in the vineyards during harvesting time and picking grapes, or if it was pruning season, we'll be with family members pruning. Yeah, so I kind of grew up in that environment. And as you grow older, we come back to the city. And it was just convenient to go to the store and you buy things. So that love kind of just fizzled out of it until the need came back, and then you're like, okay, what do I do now? And most of the things that I did not know, Google is a great help. But yeah, also I'm empowering myself now. I'm attending classes. I'm doing a course on mixed agriculture, so that yeah, I can stay up to date with the latest techniques and how to improve the business. Because look, my business is agriculture, so I need to know what to do, when to do it. And also, lots of the clients, they ask me questions. My cabbage is doing this and my lettuce is doing that, and what do I do? So I needed to be informed and give them the right answers, basically. and help them along their journey. Yeah.
That's flipping incredible. I can't believe that I've known you this whole time and I had no idea that like this is where your journey started with farming. Because I always wondered, like I always like I spoke to Siviwe a couple of weeks ago, and I also just never and I never knew how he started Happy Feet and why dance was important to him. So it's just interesting to know that there was actually like a connection to farming within your family, right? And
Yeah.
having now started Growbox, right? How important has it been for you to have your kids kind of involved? Because I believe that like it's important for us to teach our kids to grow our own food. And I think your story also kind of made me start thinking that way. So that when if ever there is a need for anybody to be able to grow their food, they can. So for you, how important is it to have like your kids, you know, within the business?
I think for me, if anyone knows me, they know my kids are the center of my world, and everything I do, involves them. And also, because I ask them for the input. Is this right? Is that right? If I'm practicing for a pitch, I pitch with them. I use them as guinea pigs. Yeah. So everything we do as a collective. And then when I started the business, or even before the business, when we started the vegetable garden, I didn't know that they knew so little about food gardening, and where their food comes from. I mean, most of our kids, we that grew up in the suburbs, our kids don't know where the food comes from. And seeing that, the expression on their faces and the joy of gardening for the first time, it's like a whole new world open for them. They saw a carrot growing and cabbages and green beans, and they think this plant just grow, and it opened up a whole new world. And even now, as the business is growing, they ask me questions. My son did business in his matric year, and he can literally see, what they're teaching in class and how I'm adapting it. And he'll ask me questions, and he'll give me his theories on how I should do stuff. Mommy, they taught us this, so you must do this, and things like that. So we're all learning as we're going along, and it's a family affair. I can't help it. My 12-year-old have already divided up shares. You get this, and you get that, and you get that, and I'm like, I'm not even dead yet. So yeah, so yeah, that's how we do things. Yeah, they are involved, I'm involved. If I get stuck, can you help me? And then we are all planting together. They go with me on delivery. So yeah, that's just how we do things, and I like it that way, and they enjoy it also.
I think
Yeah.
I've always just appreciated the relationship that you and your kids have. Like as much as I always imagined you as like a strict mom, but every time I speak to you about your kids, I'm starting to think that the bosses in that household are the kids, right?
Are they?
They seem like they're the bosses because they're always like advising mommy and mommy, let's rather do this. And I love that there's that input from them, and they also feel like they're actually a part of the growth of Growbox. So how would you say that entrepreneurship has influenced your parenting? Has it influenced it at all? Like, have there been any changes because you're now this entrepreneur? Has that kind of filtered through in your parenting as well?
Um, it's, I don't know. It's influenced on so many levels. I mean, time management. She was. Yeah. Even a simple thing like the Zoom call. It's like, guys, I need to have a certain, and the kids are home. It's COVID. So yeah, it influences everything. If I need to go away, they've got a schedule. Who does what, when, how. Yeah, and my son, he steps in when I am not home, or if I have meetings, or if I'm busy somewhere. So influences are so many levels, and they, even the 8-year-old and 11-year-old is giving me advice. I think you should do but more there, and this is not enough. And yeah, so
I
everything
I love
influenced our
them.
day to day.
I love the involvement. Like your kids are, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with their lives. Like just all of them, because they're such leaders and they are bosses in their own rights. Like all of them.
They are the shareholders.
They are,
They are my board. They are the shareholders. They are everything.
Oh my gosh. And I always wonder how you manage to juggle everything. You're like Superwoman. Like I don't know how you do the things that you do in the space of like the 24 hours that we all get. Firstly, before I even get into how you juggle all of these things together, can you take me through what like a normal day would be for you? Yeah, I know that's hard because like, not every day is the same, but like yeah,
Yeah.
generally.
See, okay. Normal days during normal times would usually start at 5 a.m. and then I start watering the plants that's at home. And then after that, during normal circumstances, then I get the kids done, and they go to school at 7, and at 7:30 I'll go to the nursery, and then I start there. And yeah, after that it's either meetings or I'll do deliveries, and after that I'll get back home at about 2:33, and then it's homework. And while they, if I'm not helping them, I'll start with supper, and after that, and then it's usually admin as soon as they get to bed, because that's the only quiet time that is. I can't be doing admin when they're around. So I usually do most of my admin after 12, between 12 and 5 a.m. And then I'll catch a quick nap if there's time, and then my day starts all over again.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I don't understand. I don't know how. I've got one child who drives me like now during lockdown I've been like, "Oh my goodness. I literally bow down to parents that have more than one child because just my one has driven me up the wall. How have things been during lockdown? Because now you have everybody at home. You still have to
Yeah.
somehow run the business. So what have been some of the changes that you've had to incorporate within what you do?
Um, yeah, when lockdown first started, it was lockdown's gonna happen when we got the announcement. So I had the challenge of moving everything I had at the nursery and moving it home because I was scared there'd be break-ins and things like that. So literally everywhere there were plants, everywhere, every available space, you name it, on top of the vehicle, on the booth, everywhere there was plants everywhere. And then we went down to level 4, and agriculture was allowed to open. So then I moved everything back again. Yeah, so I managed to work around some of the challenges. But I think the hardest thing is your data costs are expensive and everything is online. Yeah, so my classes were moved online, meetings were moved online, and just having to speak with the kids and get the input, and also so I can have a free space for myself because there's 4 of them running around. So yeah, we've kind of worked out a schedule for them also. They've worked it out amongst themselves that each one is allowed 1 hour of viewing time where they can decide what they want to do. Because this one wants that channel and that one want to watch that channel. So yeah, they've kind of worked it amongst themselves that each one gets an hour to do what they want to do, and then after that, it's kind of a collaboration between what they majority votes basically. So yeah, what the majority wants to see. And but in between that, I still get to work. I go to the nursery. We do what we have to do. We do deliveries, and then mommy gets her free time to do her Zoom calls and attend classes, and yeah, then it's quiet time for them.
But Rench, how are you? How are you balancing all of this stuff? Like I hear, like I'm hearing the word schedule a lot. So like your household is like a schedule household. Like everybody knows at this time this is what we're doing. Troops at this time this is what you're doing. And this is how. How are you balancing you as Renshia? How are you? And I know you're saying, and then I get a bit of time here and I get a bit of time there. How do you ensure that there's a balance? You're not spending too much time on work, and you're giving them as much attention as you can, and at the same time you're not neglecting the business. How are you? And then there's school now.
Yes. So well, I try as best as I can. They say I'm very forgetful, so I'm always writing things down, writing down notes. I've got this huge calendar that I pasted up on my wall. So I mark the days and the times that I need my time. And that also in between, we're doing homework and I need to do research for them online and things like that. So yeah, we kind of, I think scheduling and schedules are predominantly what we do with everything, whether it work, whether play, whether even watching TV. Everyone has their schedules. I have my time slots from 6 till 8 is my bones time, so nobody messes with my time, and everything else is their time.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so with all of this going on, right, and with all of the stuff that you're doing all the time, you're constantly busy. You're constantly busy. What is your go-to self-care routine? Like when you're like, you see now it's mommy's time and mommy is taking care of mommy. Like what is that thing that you do to take care of Renshia?
um, I honestly don't have anything except my bones time. That is
No,
it.
Renshia, this has got to change. No. No. No.
I don't. I mean, I am at peace when I'm out in the nursery. If I'm planting or I'm pruning or that is my time. They don't really interfere with that. And I love doing that. That is my zen moment. Unless I ask for help, nobody really interferes with me. So yeah, then I can be busy with hours. Sometimes I forget about the time and time just flies, and then they'll tell me, "Mommy, it's 11 o'clock. You need to come in now." And I'm like, "Okay." And so or they'll bring me lunch. I get so carried away, I forget to eat the entire day, and then they'll bring me lunch and say it's time to eat. You haven't eaten today, so yeah.
It's
That,
beautiful to
that's
know that,
me.
like, the same thing that you call work is the same thing, because that's what I'm hearing. Like the same thing that you call work is actually, that is your self-care for you, because that brings you a different kind of joy that nothing else can give to you. Like that, like, just kudos to you for figuring that out, and knowing that, yes, I'm working, but in the same time it's feeding me somehow, right? And
Yeah.
to, like, touching on that, your business model is like it's a two for one model. Firstly, what does that mean, and why is that important to you? Why was it important that you created your model in that sense?
The two-in-one model is with reference to the veggie boxes. So for every two boxes sold, one box will be donated to a disadvantaged household so that they will be able to grow their own vegetables. But we don't only just give them the boxes, we give them the training and the skills that goes with it. So that they in turn are empowered and they know how to grow their own vegetables. So everything from recycling water to how to catch seeds, how to grow vegetables from used vegetables, giving them that toolkit so they know how to um, grow from there. So I think it was important because um, although many of us are not born with this knowledge of how to grow vegetables or the knowledge of nurturing, um, and also because you can't just give someone something and expect them to know what to do with it. That's why I thought the training was important, and also giving people access to a gardening kit. It's all good and well if you do the training and then they don't know how to go from there. They wouldn't know how to get the seedlings, or also the transport issue, because our communities are so far from nurseries and the supermarkets that sell, the grow mediums. So that's why I thought it was important, and to help instill that skills and that love for nature was just so important, because you can't just give someone something and expect them to fall in love with it. It doesn't work like that.
That I think, a lot of people that I talk to who are in the social entrepreneurship space, that do things because they want other people to benefit from the work that they do as well, are people that love community and they love those people that they are serving, right? So I know that as your business eventually started growing, you managed to get a nursery in Hanover Park. How important was it for you to have your community's buy-in?
Uh, yeah. it's very important to have community buy-in. First of all, for the support, so that monetary support, and also so that they know what's going on. Because I had a lot of people asking me, "Oh, you have a garden? Do you have any vegetables or things like that?" And the thing is that I don't grow to vegetable stage. I just grow seedling stage and then sell it off. So that was also important, and also the fact that we provide workshops at the nursery so that they know, if they need help with anything, that Growbox is there to support them. But also it was very hard getting buy-in. When we first started, there'd be these break-ins. So I actually had to go to the gang leaders and ask them, look here, this is what I'm trying to do, and I need help and support with X, Y, and Z. And please, I need protection or I need help because I have people breaking in and they doing so much damage. So can you help me with this aspect? I haven't had any since that conversation, so it seems to be working. I don't know. Yeah, so hopefully it will work long term. I don't know.
I know. I remember
Yeah.
when there was a break-in that it broke my heart. I think that the nursery was just picking up and things were moving, and then you were like, they broke it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you flipping kidding me right now? Because you had been running for quite a while, and I figured, the community knows about you now. They know exactly who you are and what it is that you do. So how dare you? So it excites me to know that you knew exactly what to do. Because when you come from our communities, you have to kind of know how it works, who fits where, and how. And for you to kind of know that this is where I am and this is the kind of help that I need, that's like, it's kudos to you. I think that's what keeps you growing, because you're real. You're very real about who you are and where you're from. Um, what has like this time within lockdown taught you about your community, about Hanover Park?
Um. Yeah, I think the greatest shock I got was today. I have a photographer following me around, and he is here documenting a piece on a project that we're starting with. So we're expanding our operation to include a food garden, and a food garden that will be sustainable because it includes job creation for the people that we're working in the food garden, but also we will be selling the produce for the community. And he's documenting it from a point of food security and how COVID has impacted our communities and indigent households, and how they are coping during COVID. And today I took him to a household not far from me, just literally around the corner, where there is 28 people living in a one-bedroom flat. And I mean, it's parents, it's children, it's aunts and uncles, and all of them. 28 people in a one-bedroom place, and how it's impacted them. I think that's the greatest shock I've had so far. But also, it's the same message in, I suppose, in any community that is around here, from the flats to Guguletu, Nyanga. There's so many family members living in such small spaces and cramped conditions, and they literally have no access to food. And COVID hits, and it's even worse. Now the issue is 10 times worse. The only family members that were working are not working, or they're being retrenched, or their hours are made shorter because companies can't cope. Yeah, so food security is a huge thing. And I think today even more so, just seeing that reality and how it has impacted households. Yeah, it's just astonishing.
And I know this is something that's kind of come through for you today, but how has that impacted how you run your business and what you do? Like, what has it done for you as somebody who is within that space, realizing that this need is so much greater, so much greater? What has it made you appreciate about the work that you're doing?
I think it's giving me validation that we're on the right path. But also, it's like we need to do more, and I don't know where to start, because why so much needs to be done. I mean, if we can replicate this model in each and every community, that will be you know uh and not only for the Western Cape, but Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Gauteng. It's just, I don't know, I've got so much energy now. It's just, I want to get it done, and I want to replicate it, and I want to move it into other communities as well. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I just want to get moving and get the momentum going and get people involved, and yeah, start teaching our communities to grow their own food and be sustainable and self-reliant and not wait on government handouts. I don't know. I'm just, we need to start working big time.
I totally understand where you're coming from. It's like it's for me, COVID has been emotional, like extremely emotional, because you angry because this is not how things should be. You're sad because
Yeah.
like how are we here now in 2020? But like it's as if everything has just been amplified, and like you are seeing things in like for what they are, even more so now during this pandemic, right? So I get it. Like
Yes.
it's there are so many things that are not right, that need to be worked on, and that need to be changed. And I know that most social entrepreneurs, as much as everybody's just been on like a downer, most social entrepreneurs are like, I'm seeing more and more problems, and I've got more things to kind of fix, and I need to find more solutions to specific problems, right? um what
Definitely.
what would you say you've learned about yourself during lockdown? What's the one thing that you didn't know was like, this is also me? Wow, I'm this person. What was that thing for you during this time?
um, there's such a lot, because I, oh goodness, what's the thing, main thing that I think I think the one thing that I've learned is that I don't know enough. I really don't know. What I thought I knew was nothing compared to what is out there. Um, and also the fact that we thought, or pre-lockdown, you do things, and you are so, what can I say, in your comfort zone, and then lockdown happens, and we still manage to work even with all these restrictions and all these challenges and everything. So what we thought is actually our comfort zone. I don't know, I suppose lockdown has brought everything to the forefront and just amplified it, and saying, but you can work even within confined spaces, even with limited resources. I mean, we social entrepreneurs, we make things work, and lockdown has just emphasized that more, that we can get things done. Because I was scared, I can't get to the nursery, what now? But I managed to plant at home, I managed to work from home, and luckily I have internet connection, so I could continue with classes, I can do my Zoom calls. um I could stay in touch with, possible investors from overseas. So yeah, we just keep carrying on and making the most with what we have, even if it's in our confined bedrooms.
I love that you talk about the importance of you needing to learn more now. Like it's like, yeah, I thought I knew, but now I don't. And we touched
Yes,
on the fact that you've gone back to school, right? what what
yeah.
what has that been like? Because I've been dying to ask you, because the last time we chatted you were telling me, yo, I'm going back to school, and I was like, I like, kudos to you, because I'm so scared to be back in the classroom. I So whenever somebody says to me they're going back to school, I'm always just like, yes, it's a win for everyone. How has your journey been back, like, and learning about something that you're so passionate about and that you love?
Yeah, I'm a visual person, and I think I've got ADHD to a point, because I need to see people working and be active in the field and things like that. So that part of classes was fine, but then COVID happened, and now we've got classes on a screen, and I'm struggling. I won't lie. I'm struggling to concentrate. I'm struggling, to absorb. Um, but yeah, I got over the notes, and I entertained this mind with other materials, references to YouTube and things like that, that's pertaining to the lesson and things like that. just so it can somehow sit there, because I don't know, it's a bit different if you're seeing it on the screen than you're actually being in class.
But
I always tease my kids and say that they are visual children. Well, I'm a visual child, but the screen don't work for me. No, it doesn't seem to sink in.
I totally get it. Like I am zoomed out. Like I'm all about, for me it's more about like human interaction. I love being around people. I love
Yeah,
being around energy. I'm a hugger. I'm that
yeah.
person. So now I'm like, what is going on? Like this is like the worst, my worst nightmare. Like no people, deal with yourself, no touching, like, you know, so I understand, like there've been so many things that we've had to readjust to now, and kind of also make parts of our brains that we thought, this is not, no, I'm not, no, my brain is left, I'm not the right kind of thinker, you know. And what lockdown has
Yeah,
done is like you're going to tap in all those things that you thought you are not, you are forced to tap into during this time, right? And
yeah,
so you're saying like, so now lessons are on screen and all of that.
yeah,
I know that you know, a lot of people often say that it's as a business person, it's always important to have somebody that you can kind of lean on or go to when you are in a specific space, or whatever, like a mentor. Um, and what why would you say you appreciate yours, and what have been some of the things that you've learned from them that have kept you like this during lockdown?
yo. I think time management is a huge thing, and also the value of time. I think that's the one thing that, because people will ask you, can you do this and can you do that, and but the amount of time that you spend doing X, Y, and Z for someone else, is it really value, and does it give you value? And it doesn't have to be monetary value, but also, because I mean, you can waste 4 to 5 hours doing a lot but not actually accomplishing anything. And it might be accomplishment for someone else, but then at the end of the day, you think to yourself, like, what did I do during that time? And has it been any value to me? And I think that, especially during lockdown, has been, very helpful, because I mean, we are all in confined spaces and we're trying to do as much as we can, but is it of actual value? Is it going to help me propel my business? Is it going to take Growbox to where I need to be? Are we actually doing much impact, or does it pay the accounts at the end of the month? So yeah, I think that has been the most valuable thing that I've learned, because I was doing a lot of things for everybody, but it didn't actually filter through to being valuable for me or the business in any way. Yeah, and it kind of took time away from my family. It took time away from business. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's actually worth nothing. So I think that's the most important thing that I've learned.
So what is your, what is the one takeaway that you think you'll be continuing to do after lockdown? You know, there were things that you didn't have to do before, and then you had to kind of succumb to certain things during lockdown, things that you never thought you needed or you had to do. So what are those things that you're going to take with you and say, you know, actually this worked so well, I'm going to continue doing it, even though I can do it another way, or I can go back to how I used to do it? What's that thing?
I think the thing I'm gonna take away after lockdown is I'm gonna get myself a PA, because that's paperwork unworking for me. I'm spending so much time doing paperwork as unreal, and the Excel spreadsheets and all this stuff. I've got a lot going on here, and it's just hard putting it there. And the calculations and the formulas in that Excel, I know, no. I'm getting myself a PA. She can do all that slip, and I can just, yeah, no, no,
I,
this
I
is
love
this is
it.
too much.
I love it because actually that answers that other question that I asked you about what you've learned about yourself during lockdown. When I was speaking to Zva, he said to me that, you know, he's the person that he thought he was, he's this leader that always leads from the front, and what lockdown did for him was he must take a step back sometimes and let other people lead. So I'm loving this, that the things that you guys are taking away and are learning about yourselves are that you're giving yourself, because that means you're giving yourself a bit more time to do the things that you want to
Yeah,
do and the things that you can do. So that
You
makes me
know
so
how much
happy.
hours you know how much hours I've wasted working right through the night trying to figure out stuff and things. No, man, I don't know. Either I must do a course to learn the stuff properly, or someone else can do it. I think it's just easier to let someone else do it. This brain is not meant for figures and things. No
I'm
way.
excited. I love it because you are so hardworking. You're so hardworking. It's ridiculous. So if you're going to be saying that somebody else, you're actually going to give somebody else that responsibility. I know, chef. Lockdown, you
Please,
have done
because
wonders. Like lockdown has done wonders. Ah, oh my gosh. And then I know that you have like you've got a lot of people that you kind of walked with on this journey, right? Like I'd call them your peers, like other social entrepreneurs who don't necessarily have the same kind of business, but are running social enterprises, which are very different to other forms of business. What would you say is like what role have those people played in your journey?
of everything from a support structure to just calling them up and saying, "Look, I'm stuck." I know I've done it so many times already. I just called and said, "I'm stuck. I can't seem to get out of my head. Uh, what do I do?" So it's been a tremendous help, and especially for me. I think I don't know. Maybe my circle is quite, but there is not many people that I can speak to and say, "Can you assist me with this within this area? What do I do now? How do I overcome this?" And for me, it's been a tremendous help just to phone, WhatsApp call, video call, and just say, "What do I do now? How do I go? Am I on the right track? Is this working? What do you think? Is it not working?" Things like that. That's been a great help. I don't think I would have been where I am if that wasn't for that support. They are everything to me. Yeah. Because most of the time I feel like I'm on an island, but because they're just a phone call away or a video call away, that's helped a lot. Yeah. And I remember one time I think I had a 2 hour long conversation with Palisa, and we were crying and laughing and crying and it just went like that. So yeah, sometimes you just need to release. Yeah.
That makes me happy. Like like I just hang around you guys, and by the time I'm done talking to you, I feel like okay, what's next? I need to do something because the other children are working. Girl, the other children are working. And it doesn't matter what comes their way, they are working. They just you guys just know how to plummet through things. Um so what's that one thing, Rench, that you are excited for when things, whatever the new normal is, whatever that looks like? Like what's the one thing that will be allowed at level 1 that you are most looking forward to?
Um, I think the fact that the workshops, yeah, I just wish we could start now already. Um, we need to get our people to start growing their own food. We need to be interactive. We need to be working in our communities, and that's what I just want to go and do it and start it. And yeah, but unfortunately we can't right now. So yeah, that's what I want to do. That's where my passion lies, and that's what I want to do now. But I can't because of all the restrictions. Yeah, even last night I was making phone calls to ward counselors and things, and everybody's telling me not now. It's not the right time. So yeah, when once we get to level 1, I'm off the ground. I'm in there. I'm knee deep. My hands are dirty. I'm ready to work. Yeah.
Orange. I think that's like the perfect way to end this. Like you are knee deep, your hands are dirty. That's what you do. That's how I know you. That's how I know you to be. You are always knee deep in the work, and you don't mind getting your hands dirty while helping other
Not at
people
all.
grow.
Not at all.
Like I love
No.
that. Like for you, it's like how am I going to get everybody else to grow? And I think because of what you're saying, that like now you've seen it, you've seen how intense things can be, and
Yeah.
how important food security is. You've got like this, I can feel it. You've got like this new drive of like, yeah, let's go, man. We need to get going. Um, so I am really really excited for what's to come, and all the stuff that you're going to be doing once lockdown is over. I know that like you keep growing, as your slogan says, you keep growing. So I know that the next time I speak to you, there'll be something else, there'll be something new, something big, and I'm so excited. So thank you so much for taking the time to kind of have this conversation, because I know your time is very important to you. So for you to take this moment and chat to me, I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.